Hey media students, in this video I'm going to show you how to complete the photo comic strip skills assignment using Photopea, or the online Photoshop clone image editor. The only reason you're watching this video or doing this on Photopea is because you're missing class and you're at home and you want to kind of stay current here. This assignment will help you gain the skills you need to create your final comic strip. So in this assignment on Google Classroom, I have two files that you need. You're going to need to download these. So you're going to click on them, open it in a new window, and then hit the download button so that you have these files. So make sure you do that for both. If you're not on your Chromebook, if you're on a PC or Mac at home, just make sure you know where it's downloading it to. If you're on your Chromebook, it should be adding these to your Google Drive. So if we go back to Classroom, just make sure you have both of these files. Now, we're going to use Photopea for this, which is an online image editor, but it's basically a Photoshop wannabe. It's a Photoshop clone. On your Chromebook, your screen is probably pretty little, so pressing the full screen button might give you a little bit more room to work. So we need to open those two files. So we're going to go File, Open, and it's going to ask you to find the files you want. If you're on your Chromebook, it's looking in your Google Drive. If you're on your PC or Mac, it's looking on your PC or Mac. So we're going to open these files. I'm going to open the other one. And it's just like Photoshop. There's two tabs. I'm going to zoom in by pressing Control-0. And on this file, it actually has the directions that you need. It says add the photo here. Use free transform to scale it into the box. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to use the Move tool. It looks a little different than Photoshop, but it works the same. I'm going to just click, drag, and move it in here. To free transform it, we're going to go to Edit and choose Free Transform, only because the shortcut key for that's a little bit different in Photopea. If you look here, it's Alt-Control-T. So I'm going to do that. Photopea also needs you to press Shift when you free transform things. So we're going to free transform it, get it into the box. Step number 2 is add stroke to the outside of the image. So if you think about a drawn comic strip, the artist draws boxes and puts the drawings inside of those. We want our photo comic strip to look basically the same. So we want to add stroke or an outline to this photo. So to do that, we need to find the layers palette, which is this icon over here. It looks like stacked up papers. If you can't find it that way, you can go to Window and choose Layers, but you still have to find this icon. All right. And now if you look at this here, it says background. This is our this is our photo. It shows us that preview. We want to put an effect on that. So we're going to click down here on EFF and choose stroke. This box comes up, and basically the options that you need to know are the size. That's how big the stroke is going to be. The position is inside the photo, the center, or the outside of the photo. And then the opacity is how see-through it is. And then of course we can pick the color we want. So I'm going to choose black, and I'm going to just scale this down just a little bit. And I have to click OK before I do that. So let's go like 8 pixels. I'm going to click OK. Now if you ever need to change that, you can go over here to this triangle, find stroke, and change it just like we would change like a smart filter in Photoshop. All right, after that, the third step is make the two animals talk to each other using talk bubble shapes. So to do that, we need to go to the toolbar and find this custom shape tool. It probably looks like a rectangle for you first, and then click custom shape. So up top, it looks a little bit gross. It's just not as pretty as Photoshop, but the fill color is what color is going to be inside that shape. I actually think it is better to probably not use the stroke up here and add it later. And then the shape we want is right here. This is where we pick what we want. So I think it's the best to click find and use comic to type com. And basically the shape we want is this filled in one right here, this comment bubble. We don't want this one. This is like a outline of a comment bubble, and I don't like the way this one looks. So we're going to click on this. I think we double click. And now we can come down here and draw like this. And we get a shape. And if we look over here, it actually makes a layer for us to help us. We can use free transform to change the shape or the way it points or the shape of it like this. And we get our shape like that, and we can press enter to keep it. After we put the shape in here, we want to use the text tool right here, the type tool. And you don't want to click right on this shape right here. You just want to click somewhere else. So I'm going to kind of click and drag a text box here like this. And up here, we're going to pick a font that we want. Now, comic is checked here, so we can kind of sort for that. We're looking for a comic looking font. I don't know if Comic Sans will actually be in this one online, because that is a Microsoft font, I'm pretty sure. But we can look here to see if we can find a comic looking font. And I'm not seeing Comic Sans exactly. So basically you want to look for a font that kind of looks hand drawn. So like Caveat Brush is a good one there. Okay, so we can do that. And then you can type here, you can type inside here like that. Now it looks a little bit gross, but it won't look so bad when you're there. So inside here we would type what we want in the comic strip. So we could say like, you know, hey dude, like that. And then we can move that and drag that into the comic strip or comic bubble. And basically I'm going to use free transform to kind of shape that bubble the way I want. I'm going to go like Control T, Control T, and just shape it down a little bit, maybe rotate it a little. Doesn't have to be that big. So I'm going to press Enter to do that. Move my Hey Do layer down here like this. Okay. It also says that we should put some stroke outside the talk bubble. So we got to find that shape layer right over here. Click on Effect and choose Stroke. And then here again, it's the same settings. Like you can put however you want, like that. And click OK. Please keep track of your layers here. Please keep track of your layers. You can see I actually have 2 text layers. One is blank. That was probably because I tried to click a little bit extra. So I'm just going to trash can that. So when you're all done, please add 2 talk bubbles. I'm just trying to keep this video short. Please add 2 talk bubbles. When you're all done, in the layers palette, and if you can't find it, it's these stacked up layers right here. Click the eyeball next to turn off before save. And then go to File and choose Export As and export it as a JPEG and turn it in. You can also save this as a PSD file in your Google Drive or on your computer at home so that you can work on that later.